You're watching the Knox Pages.
You are watching the Knox Pages.
You're watching the Knox Pages Game of the Week.
Welcome to the Knox Pages Game of the Week. My name's Grant Pepper. I'm a reporter at KnoxPages.com, and it's finally here. Football season in Knox County and the state of Ohio. Everyone starts off the year on Friday with a record of 0-0, and our first ever Knox Pages Game of the Week takes us to Lucas, Ohio, Bob Wine Field in Richland County for the Lucas Cubs versus the Danville Blue Devils to kick off the season on Friday night. It is sure to be physical, grueling non-conference matchup with a lot on the line, as these are two competitive regional opponents, as Lucas comes in this game riding 4 straight years of playoff appearances and 8-3 year last year. Meanwhile, Danville, hailing from Knox County, made the state semis last year, went 12-2, and has also made 7 straight state playoff appearances. Of course, Danville and Lucas had been rivals for a long time until they took the year off last year when Danville left the Mid-Buckeye Conference and went to the Knox-Mara Athletic Conference. These two teams have each other back on the schedule this year in Week 1, and Danville head coach Ed Honenberger can't be more excited about it.
Well, we used to be in the Mid-Buckeye Conference together, and we wanted to continue playing each other. So we had to take last year off with us going into the KMAC, and now we were able to get each other back on the schedule again.
Now, the last time these two teams met was 2 years ago in 2016, right out here at Bob Wine Field. Danville won that game 14-0, and it was a late October conference matchup. Both teams are going to make the playoffs that year, and Danville senior wide receiver Corbin Hazen, who was just a sophomore at the time, remembers that game still very well.
It was probably the most exciting game I've ever seen on the sidelines. It was a hard-hitting game, but the fans, it was amazing. There's so many people there, and I've never seen so many people in town. It was awesome.
Having seen Lucas on film so far this week, Danville head coach Ed Honenberger believes this will be a similar team that they've seen in the past in the Cubs, a very physical and now a very experienced ball club they'll face on Friday night.
Well, Lucas, typical physical football team. They run the toss offense, and it's a rugby scrum, and everybody pulls and push, and then all of a sudden the back squirts out to the left or to the right and gets a big gain. So we really have to play assignment football, and we got to hope we can get them behind the sticks and get them some long yardage situations.
Corbin Hazen spoke specifically of the physicality of Lucas's starting running back, senior Jeb Grover, who rushed for nearly 1,500 yards last year and 28 touchdowns, and was one of the key components to Lucas's offense, who is back on the team this year.
Yeah, they got a great running back. He's a senior this year. We played against him since we were little kids, but he's really matured and big, and he likes to run his feet. He's good offensive and defensive. But they're going to be ready to hit, but we just got to answer them and hit harder.
For Danville, Friday represents the start of a new era at the quarterback position for the Blue Devils. Quarterback Skylar Durbin, who started for the last 2 years, graduated in the spring, and this year senior Dalton David will take over at the QB position on Friday night. David threw no passes last year, but won the starting job in a competition this summer. Coach Ed Honenberger told me this week that he just wants Dalton David to settle in, not do too much, and try to get comfortable in his first ever start as a varsity quarterback.
His ability to lead the team, get us in and out of the right checks, protect the football, don't force the football. We got to make sure, we don't have turnovers.
While Honenberger acknowledged that Friday's game will carry probably serious playoff implications, as both of these teams are regional foes, he also made sure to note that this game is not do or die for the young Blue Devils.
It's important. I think it's always important to start your season off with a win. I mean, that's great to get the ball rolling in a positive way. It's not the end of the world if you don't. A lot of football to be played, so, if things would go bad, obviously, like I said, not the end of the world, but I'm sure Lucas is thinking the same thing. This is a good win over a quality opponent, and if either of us have playoff aspirations, you would hope it would help give us playoff points down the road.
And after weeks of hitting each other in practice, Corbin Hazen says excited, and the team is excited, for a big matchup come Week 1. He also noted that even though there's a long season ahead of them, Friday's matchup means something to the Danville Blue Devils.
Yeah, it's pretty great because at practice, you always kind of let up when you're there, but this week it's full go. You hit them until they're on the ground, hard as you can every play.
How important do you think this first game is for you guys, especially on the road against a good regional program like them?
It's definitely one of the most important. We know they're always a big rival, so it's going to be a hard-hitting game. And it's just got to set the tone for the season. If we win this game, we're going to have confidence for the rest of the season and hopefully carry the winning on.
Meanwhile, out here in Lucas, 10th-year head coach Scott Spiller told me today that his Cubs are excited, much like Honenbarger's Blue Devils, to have each other back on the schedule after a year off last year, restoring what's been a great rivalry over the years.
The thing that you love about playing a quality football program like Danville is the tradition of being a small school powerhouse. And, you know, we've had a lot of success these last few years, but, you know, we're trying to get that perennial success that they've had as a program. So we have tremendous respect for them and the job Coach Honenbarger does and the type of kids they bring, and it's going to be a great high school football game.
And also, much like Honenbarger and the Blue Devils said about Lucas, Spiller said Danville represents a very physical, tough, and experienced challenge on Friday night for the Cubs.
Just another, tremendous Danville team. Very physical, tough, relentless pursuit and effort on the field, and very athletic at the skill position, and they just reload in that spread offense.
Senior tailback Jeb Grover of Lucas is also happy to have Danville back on the schedule and know that Friday should be a hard-nosed physical football game in the trenches.
Well, I mean, it's good to get them back on the schedule. It's always fun playing them. I mean, we're just out here, working as hard as we can, trying to get as good as we can, get in our best shape so we're ready to go for the rival.
What do you know about them so far? What do you expect out of them Friday?
They're always hard-nosed kids. They always run that spread. They're always very athletic and fast. Their defensive line is really good. They get to the football, and they're definitely physical, so it should be a good matchup.
One of the keys to Friday night's game could very well be the performance of Jeb Grover, Lucas's star senior running back. I asked him about his mentality when he comes into games and said simply he's just trying to do his job, take care of his 1/11th, as he put it.
I try to do my 1/11th as good as I can to help everybody else, because if we're all doing our 1/11th, to the best of our ability, we're going to be really tough to stop.
Lucas is returning a little more experience, though, than Danville is on both sides of the ball, including Jeb Grover, as the Cubs are bringing back most of their key players at skill positions as well as in the trenches from a 8-3 team last season. Head coach Scott Spiller says that he hopes his team can use that to their advantage this fall.
Well, the big thing that we've stressed with our kids is that every day that we come out, we're getting better. And every week we put a better product on the field, and that's kind of been our mantra. Faceless opponent, doesn't matter, get better every day.
Much like Danville's Ed Honenbarger, Lucas's Scott Spiller didn't want to overplay the importance of Friday night's game in the long run of the season.
Well, it's one game. Obviously you get a win. Half the teams in the state's going to be 1-0 and half the team's going to be 0-1, but it doesn't change what you got to do for the rest of the season. It just kind of puts you behind the 8 ball early.
But at the same time, Jeb Grover knows what this means to not only his hometown here in Lucas, but also in the long-term playoff run, as both these teams will be fighting for playoff spots in the same region again this fall.
This first week, you always want to start off on the right foot, so it's just all about that, getting our heads right, keep momentum, keep building throughout the season. This first one's really important for that. Last 2 years, we went out in the first round, and we're talking about not having that regret at the end of the season, especially being a lot of ours last season. So we're just trying to work hard every day to make sure that we go as far as what we believe our talent should take us and our hard work should take us.
Friday night's Week 1 matchup between Danville and Lucas right here at Bob Wine Field will kick off at 7 p.m. on Friday, and make sure to read our game story later that night on KnoxPages.com. Now let's take you around the county for the rest of the Week 1 matchups here in Knox County High School football on Friday night. We will start right here in Lucas again. Danville at Lucas on Friday night. Danville went 12-2 last year. Lucas went 8-3 in 2017, both playoff-bound teams. Then we'll go to West Muskingum. East Knox goes to West Muskingum on Friday night. Bulldogs went 7-3 last year. West Muskingum 0-10. Centerburg goes to Utica on Friday. Centerburg went 2-8 in 2017. Meanwhile, Utica finished 1-9. Fredericktown plays at Clear Fork on Friday night. Fredericktown went 5-5 last year. Clear Fork 11-1, playoff bound. And we'll round out the Knox County order with Mount Vernon going to Marion Harding to kick off the 2018 season on Friday. Yellow Jackets went 4-6 last year. Marion Harding went 6-4. That's going to do it, folks, for this week's edition of the Knox Pages Game of the Week. Make sure to follow our sports coverage all season long on KnoxPages.com, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter for live game updates, game recaps, exclusive interviews, and more at Knox Pages on Facebook and Twitter. Again, my name is Grant Pepper, KnoxPages.com. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy week 1, and we will see you next week.